Actor Corbin Bernsen currently stars as Henry Spencer on the USA Network's hit series Psych. He's a headliner. He's been a headliner for many other TV shows, but today he stops by to talk about why he's using his star power to create faith-based films. Welcome to Harvest.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
Okay, that was some good stuff. I mean,
very good.
Let's go back. I mean, you're on Psych,
Right.
and I remember you as that shrewd divorce lawyer on LA Law, NBC's hit series LA Law. But why faith-based films?
Well, it's been a journey.
Okay.
You know, I've been very blessed with a wonderful career and a wonderful family, and I've had faith all my life, and I've had a relationship with God and Christ, kind of like a body that's good, but really could go to the gym and get in really good shape. You know, so I've never been in denial of it or thinking that God didn't exist. And it really started when I was a young boy, searching for those questions. I always had a notion there's something greater than everything that's explained. And but I didn't put a lot into it. I didn't invest a lot into it. And about 5 years ago, my dad passed away, and I was sitting with a bag of ashes. I feel so funny. I've told the story, you know, but it is my story. So,
it is.
You know, I sat with a bag of ashes, and I looked at it, and I said, man, I'm in my early 50s, and my kids are starting to grow up, and, you know, I said, is that it? Is that where it all ends up? In a Ziploc bag of ashes, really delivered to us. You know, a third to me and a third to my brother, a third to my sister. And same day I used to give my kids their sandwiches to take to school. And I said, is that it? And I made a film called Rust that really explored the beginnings of faith, or the researching of one's faith, about 4 or 5 years ago in another small town up in Canada, similar to this. And it was through the making of that film and through the extraordinary coincidences, you know, that happened in making it, that started me down this bigger journey to really explore my faith. And I made several in between that and this film, Beyond the Heavens. But Beyond the Heavens is one of my most favorite, most personal, because it really is about that. It's about the thing my mother, who was on The Young and the Restless for 40 years, Jean Cooper, and she taught me at the very beginning, is that young boy, as you saw, that's me, says, look, don't take what anybody says about anything. Don't take it at face value. Don't be scared into it. Just be inspired by it, but then go find out for yourself. Create your own relationships. Investigate. Study. Truth will be revealed, but it'll be your truth. It'll be personal. So, you know, what she's saying is, you know, if you want to have a relationship with anybody, with God, make it your relationship and not somebody who tells you what to do and what to be. And it really started back there, got going with my dad's passing, and then this film. And unfortunately, my mom passed this year in May, but we had the wonderful release of the DVD and the movie on her birthday.
I mean, I grew up watching Catherine Chancellor.
Oh,
I mean, you know, I'm sure I knew somewhere back in the day that her name was Jean Cooper, but I have always known her as Catherine Chancellor, this just amazing, iconic actress. And you said that she's the one who's kind of influenced this journey of faith for you and this film.
She did. She's the one who said explore, you know, dare to challenge, dare to get in the face of it, dare to challenge God, challenge those who say you must believe in God, you know, dare to challenge all of that, but challenge it, but also investigate. Don't then just also take the other side. He says there's no God, there's no need for a God. Challenge that, you know, challenge all things. Look at it from all sides. And I've really done that most of my life, to the point where I've you know, created my own truths. Now, where do they end up? Watch the movie, you'll see, you know, they do end up, I believe, you know, ultimately, whether it be science or all things, there is a God. May not be a dude with a white beard, you know, like some people would think, you know, pulling strings, but there is a great and powerful, wonderful God that is ahead of all things. And I think pulls us through life and pulls us through the revelations of these mysteries and these incredible technologies that allow us to do a show like this, or cures for cancer, or whatever it is that pulls us forward. Why he makes it go up and down, I don't know, because you know, for me it's exciting. I wake up every morning thinking like it's like a roller coaster. It's like, what's it going to be today, this or this? But you know, if it were just kind of perfect, I don't know if we'd be inspired to change or challenge or look. And I think we want to. I think it's this incredible gift of life to explore and to learn and grow, and And it's exciting.
Exciting.
Better than just sort of being there and going, well, all's perfect. How about you? All perfect.
Got it all figured out.
Got it all figured out. Me too. Good. You think exactly like I do? That's perfect. That's good.
Right.
Great. What do we do? I don't know. We just wait to die. Go to heaven. Okay,
Wind
that's
up
perfect.
in a Ziploc bag. Yeah.
Yeah, Ziploc bag. There you go. So, you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful journey. And I want people ask, why are you doing this, Corbin? They don't associate me with this or conservatism or faith. They you know, my friends, even some of my family go, what are you doing? I said, just watch. It's my journey.
But isn't that how it's supposed to happen? You come into this relationship with God, and it affects every part of your life.
Right.
For you, it's acting. For someone else, it's running a daycare, and that faith starts to play out in your everyday life. I think that's what God wants from us.
Well, I think so, and I certainly, look, for some people, it starts very early. For me, it started early, as you see in this film. Although I'm not saying that's exactly me, but I want to be very clear, that wasn't the relationship I had with my mother, as you'll see in the film, because there's definitely a tragedy that's happened in this family that's kept these people at odds. It's a drama, right? It's got to be entertaining and move you forward.
Engaging, yeah.
But engaging, exactly. And but I think as I've gotten older, it's I could have directed anywhere. I got my master's degree in playwriting 30 years. Well, I don't know, what was that? 19, so 40 years ago. And directing, I'd always directed and wanted to do that, but I waited, and it was the right time. I was waiting, and I didn't know why or what for. I just knew, without God saying, "Oh, this is God telling me to wait." I'm just saying, I waited, and at the right time, I started writing and directing, and it now has a purpose to it. Do I have other stories that are sort of outside of it and secular stories? Sure, I have wonderful things. They're generally not going to be stuff that would go against this. They're going to be uplifting stories. They may not involve God and faith and exploration of faith, but this is what I'm doing now, and I feel my purpose, my mission, as I put my arms out, I say to people, I just open my sails and say, Lord, take me where you want me to go with this thing. It is to not tell people, believe in Jesus, believe in God, I'm not that. That's not me. I'm not evangelical in that way. I'm not, and I say it straight out to anybody who asks. What I do believe my purpose is to be identifiable with somebody who says, I want to know faith. You know what? In this world, it's all so mixed up. I want to be simple. I'm a big Main Street guy. I'm a big community, Main Street. A lot of things I'm working on are to get Main Street literally back up and going, because I think we've lost the values of Main Street. We've lost shopping on Main Street. I hear Sears is going bust. Well, I say go open up those stores back on Main Street is what I say. Forget your big superstores. But I'm a big Main Street guy. And in Main Street, there was faith and community. And I want to simplify back to a point where you go, okay, yeah, God, why? Sure, let's take a look at that. Because we've sort of gone way past it. How could God allow this war? And look what's happening here in the name of God. This is happening, and people are, they're just so confused by it all.
So really, you're encouraging people to look at things for themselves, to ask the questions, to investigate, to find out for themselves where truth lies. Tremendous attitude. You mentioned that families asking you why you're doing these projects. I know that I'll speak for the folks that are watching right now, but when it comes to Hollywood, people want to know, are there searching in Hollywood? Is there people that are genuinely looking for answers and finding faith in Hollywood?
I think so. First, let's look at one other side of it. There's a huge Jewish community that's a part of the industry, which is very strange, because everybody can go out and be Jewish and go to synagogue and go to temple and observe the Sabbath and do all these things, and nobody even talks about that. That's fine. When you say you're Christian, it's like all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's weird. I suppose it's because some of the extreme things that happen. It's like extreme as saying every Muslim is a terrorist. It's just got this weird thing that goes with it, which is part of my thing to say, no. It's just celebrating Jesus, who's, as I would say, my son's a pretty cool dude. Cool dude with a long hair and a beard, doesn't look too unlike people today.
Happy to be Jewish too.
And being Jewish too, but just, saying, hey man, you know what? The stuff that's happening in Rome kind of stinks. This is a really good way to look at life. This is a great way to treat your fellow man. And, if you take all the other stuff away from it, the stuff that we built around him, by the way, in the years after him, because he was just saying, you know, this is a way to live your life. That's cool. You know, I try to put it in those terms for people. But going back to Hollywood, you know, I will also very much defend my brothers in my community of Hollywood. Look, yeah, there are a few people on the extreme that do weird, strange stuff that is, you know, that gets the news. But how many people do you get there? Even some of the nastiest rappers will get there and go, oh, thank God for this award. And then they may go into some sort of, you know, whole bunch of words and whatever it is. But they still, I will tell you something, most people that are blessed to have a career, whether you've made it to sports or you've made it in arts or you're doing whatever you're doing, there's a notion of like, man, I got a little something here because there's 8 billion other people wanting to do what I do, and I was lucky enough. I studied and I did what I had to do, but especially people who are creative, there's, you know, you got to think like, okay, I'm waking up with a blank slate in the morning, like all of a sudden I got a story idea. I got a painting I want to do. I want to photograph.
Right.
You know, I got a poem to tell. Well, you know, I get science and I'll follow them way down the road on it, but that ain't science. It's observation.
Right.
But there's some spark there that's pretty, I just say, hey, why not? I just think it's more of a wonderful, mysterious, wonderful, you know, exploration than just saying it's all sort of by the numbers. But so I think there are people in Hollywood, a lot won't say it simply because there's a stigma that goes with it. You know, they don't want to be associated. And they may be more liberal in their views on certain subjects, you know, hot button stuff, which I don't really like to get into. I think that's, again, very personal, and I think it takes a long conversation and not sound bites. And I think maybe there's an association there. I've had a few people I've said, would you be in my movie? They go, oh, Christian, faith-based, no.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. What impact does it have? Like when you start doing faith-based films, do people say in Hollywood, producers, directors, maybe not?
No, not really. Well, two parts of that. One is 3 parts. One is I don't care anymore. You know what? I mean,
got to that point.
I just got to that point where I don't care. Here's the end of the day: make a good movie, and nobody cares. Make a movie that makes money. Really, nobody cares.
That's right.
And by the way, making faith-based films now, given Passion of the Christ starting off in 30 million, you know, all the hundreds of millions, everybody's looking for it. They're looking for it in terms of product. But I think they have a sense there. But I really don't care. And you know, if I often say, look, if guys who have and girls have, you know, and they come back. There's great guys, I don't want to mention by name, they have drug problems or strange, weird stuff and ended up in court and whatever it is. If you can be that and still have a career, well, if you can't sit and talk about goodness of life, the light of life, life, you know, call it by God or whatever you want to call it. If you can't do that and not have a career, then I'll step aside from it and I'll just do what I'm doing and I'll speak to a smaller crowd and, you know, I don't have to be a part of that whole system. Really, and I guess I really just don't. I don't care anymore. My mother, she passed away May 8th this year, and she was about one thing: the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, and being honest to yourself and being truthful to yourself. And you know, I guess I'm honoring her with saying, you know, I'll do that. That's what I'm going to do.
You also are honoring her. You released the film on October 25th. That's a special day.
It was last Friday. It was her birthday. It would have been her 85th. It is her birthday. I mean,
yes.
It's not being her birthday, does it? It would have been her 85th birthday, though. And you know, she provided us with one more gift, you know, a little DVD like this. It's available, by the way, streaming, downloading, all the major places you go to buy online. You can get our DVD. But, you know, when a DVD comes out, it's not like a big Hollywood weekend and you get all the press around it and all the people. You know, Hollywood premieres are, for one thing, to create a lot of news stories to tell people the movie's done. Create the buzz. So we decided to honor her. Actually, several weeks after it hit the catalogs, I guess, the DVD and stuff come out on her birthday. And it, you know, I mean, I say it straight up. It provided also, it was a great to honor her that way. Great to honor her that way, but it also created a nice little hook, you know, because so many people loved my mom. And she was a crazy lady. She had some stuff that, you know, you'd be on this show. If she told you some of the stuff she did, you'd go, wait a minute. But she was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk more about Beyond the Heavens on tomorrow when Corbin Bernsen returns to the Harvest Show. And for more information about the film, go to beyondtheheavens.com. That's beyondtheheavens.com, or you can go to harvest-tv.com and click on show info in the menu bar for a link to the film, beyondtheheavens.com, and make sure you join us tomorrow when he returns to the show.